paper, and then like people can go back to it and like read it, which is pretty cool when you're like an undergraduate and you haven't like accomplished much in your life yet, and then it's just like really cool. Okay, now maybe you guys haven't. Okay, give them a point. Yeah.
Can I add on to that, or?
Oh, what? Add on. Oh, so.
He wants to add on.
Yeah, add on. What was the add on?
Yeah.
Yeah, add on.
Cool. I'm just saying, like, I like you're like, nah, I'm not even gonna go. I'm saying, like, being out there and like the field now is just so competitive that being published, that's a huge deal. That's like the ish, you know? Dude, everyone walks in on
I'm sorry, okay?
like, I'm just saying, like, in like the academic world, I'm sure, like, you know, it's huge to get published. If you want to continue in academia, you want to get your master's, PhD, anything, this is so important. This is like the first step to doing it. So anyone who hears that you've been published, that automatically means you can research, you can write, you have all these tangible skills. So being in this class, I would say take full advantage of that and just run with it.
I thought that was a question. He's like, add on.
My nephew's in here. Awesome.
Oh, Melissa, can you give me? So Melissa's also published. She wrote a paper. So what was your research about?
It was on about where girls or like like women, where women get their like source of sexual education from like schools or healthcare. It's similar to yours. No, it's not. Wait, no, it's about women and it's like research on women, but it's like about how where the source of so who taught them their sexual education, like how it affects them on like age when they have sex or like what kind of protection they use. Yeah. Wait, is that same as yours? No. Yeah, parts of past.
But what was like the most significant finding from yours?
The most significant finding actually was. Let me think. I remember. Not right now. I'll get back to you.
Okay. So we have another person from our cohort walked in, Yvonne. So just a little bit background about yourself, like what you're studying and.
What I'm studying has nothing to do with health science. I'm a business major. I actually took this because I wanted to actually get my other degree in Asian American Studies because I do want to know what my background is, and it actually got me closer to these girls here that I have, and guys. But we had a big impact on my life at least too, because I met our professor Tuin. She's amazing. But the other thing too is that I lean on these girls like nobody's business. They understand the fact that I work in downtown LA and I still have classes at night, and I try my best to help with everything. But you know, everything gets into play and all that stuff. But what this class has done for me actually is because I work in life insurance. When it comes to the clients that my reps have, some of them are actually Asian American or American Asian, and it just depends on, there are certain medical issues that they don't know how to bring about. So I kind of just talk to the underwriters who take care of the life policies and explain to them where they're coming from, and they pretty much wave it off and they don't need that information anymore because they understand the situation. So that actually comes into play a lot. So, I mean, especially when they're like, oh, she should have a gynecologist, she had a baby. But at the same time, it is kind of stereotypical to say, oh, every female should have a female doctor, but for Asian women, it's actually very hard because the whole taboo on sex and on having anything to do around our reproductive system actually is just very hard to come out. So yeah.
It made us more, it's easier to talk about sex amongst each other.
Yes, it is very.
Not sex, the act.
The act of it, but you know,
being pap smear was a big thing that I know for myself. I didn't know much about it, and then going through this class, it was more of a precaution thing because I am Cambodian. Cambodians, females, yes, I'm Cambodian. Had cervical cancer, breast cancer being the highest rate for females to die from, and the reason why was because in our culture we weren't taking preventative care, and And that was the biggest issue for my community, and this is something that I learned about and try to spread to people that I know.
I hope that answered what you asked.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
Ms. Kim?
It's actually a really good experience. This is part A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so with our group, when, I can't believe we're back in where we began actually, you guys remember? This is the first class. It took us a while to get to know everybody because we were still like, we were about 30 plus in here. And it took us the second session to actually get close and get to a more personal level. And this right now, like within the next couple of weeks you guys have, it's the best opportunity to get to know everybody in your class because you guys only have 10. So with us, it was a lot harder because we started off with 30 and then ended up with 20 or so. 12, sorry. But yeah, we ended up with 12 and we still hang out, we still text each other, and, you know, we still have that connection of, you know, we actually made friends in a class, which not a lot of us can actually say with, you know, different majors that we have. So yeah.
I just wanted to add on what Tim and Roger said. I mean, yeah, we're seeing that this class is amazing. It really is amazing. I remember the last day of class when I mean, I don't know how all you guys felt, but I was sad, and a couple of us even cried because it was over, and it was probably one of the best, most memorable experiences that you're gonna have with these people that are surrounding you, you know. So.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get.
I hope we're not like putting you in like such high expectations. So like, oh my gosh, you have to do all this, but just take your time.
It's worth it. All that hard work is worth it.
Yeah.
And everybody's experience is different, but, I mean, you guys should give it a try.
And I know we have a lot of males in the class. So for Roger and Tim, like how does it feel to be like about ally, as we say, in class? And
Yeah, it was awesome.
how does it
It was
change
like-
your perspective about like women's health and being in a space for a woman?
Yeah, so there's always like us surrounded by a lot of girls, which is cool. So it makes us like really comfortable now to be around women and be like, hey, you know, let's talk about your sexual health. I'm just saying now, like at home, I know you guys disclose that you guys are, some of you are very open with your parents, like, you know, you've had the talk. Like I've never had the talk. To this day, I don't think I'm gonna have the talk. And every time there's like a sex scene in a movie, I like to leave the room. It's just too awkward. But now that I've had this class, I've been through it with my friends, it's really cool, and now I'm really comfortable saying, hey, you need to take preventative measures. You need to take your health into account. Be really careful about the things that you do, the choices you make. It's a huge part of your life around this time. So.
My perspective as a male in a women's class. Yeah, I mean, for you, how many guys are there? Just you three? Anybody else?
No dances.
4?
We're missing
Wow,
one.
that's the perfect 4. You can make a group of that.
Not
Follow
following.
it.
Not
Yeah,
five
not
boys. So our class, we had, I think I was lucky to have some more males with me because I think I would be a little awkward at first because I was the only male in a women's class. Just by the look of it, it kind of seems creepy in a way. But no, like we went to Sacramento and we presented and stuff, and you know, people kind of look at us like, what the heck? It's National Asian Pacific Americans Women's Forum. Why is there dudes in here? And then, but we like the novelty of it. I actually like it a lot because I think it shows that, you know, just because it's a women's issue or it's a women's cause does not mean that males can't support this cause as well. I think that in any big social issue or problem, there's going to be different people. There has to be different people to help it. For example, with the civil rights movement, just because you weren't black doesn't mean that you can't support equal rights. So in the same way, I think it's I think it's cool to have a different perspective, and I think the females in our class and all across the state from Sacramento to LA love having males in the class to give a different perspective. No, so I think it's really cool to have you know, as a guy to be in the classroom. It taught me a lot about women's issues on a deeper note, and I think you guys will love it. So don't be shy about being a male. Embrace that maleness because you know, there's nothing more I think nothing more that girls like than, you know, a guy with a strong cause and conviction for social action on behalf of women. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, most of you guys do probably have that barrier of not being able to talk to your parents about sex, about your guys' own health or anything. I know for most of us who took this class, it brought us to another level with our parents, either going to go, you know, go take care of yourself by going to get checked up, or just actually talking to your parents like, hey, have you guys actually taken care of your health and went and gone and checked up? With me, my mom actually yelled at her, because she's going through menopause now. I'm scared for life. With her, she, instead of not going to the doctors to go get checked up to make sure she was going in the right steps, the different steps of menopause and everything, she just started taking medicine. And because of that, it causes a lot of imbalance in your system, and because she doesn't know what's going on, I actually told her you need to actually go and get checked up to know where and what's going on with your system before you take any medication. And she's like, okay, I'm taking it, I'm gonna go. And I'm like, where's the, when's your appointment and everything? Because I wanna make sure you don't take this without making sure you go to the doctors and tell them like what's going on. And at the same time, with me getting checked up every year too, it's an awkward topic with my mom, but at the same time she knows I'm on top of my own health compared to most of the kids that she knows. So yeah. Awkward topic, but it is a good thing to get you closer to your parents because you guys are going to college. You guys aren't always home, so you guys still have a connection. So, I mean, it's hard to bring it up, but most of us have already brought it up with our parents once or twice, and they just look at us like, oh God, we're gonna have that talk now. But it's a good thing that you need to have as an experience with going into college or coming out of college. What?
Dr. Chin, do you have any questions?
Having gone through what you've gone through and having the perspective that you do, what advice would you give to the students in the class, knowing what you know now?
Make your bonds now.
Yes. Bond is their answer? Wait.
Make your bonds now.
Yes.
Or anybody wants to go first?
I would say suck it up when it's really boring and power through it, and it's gonna be really fun later on. Also be super aware of what you're learning right now because you're gonna use it later. You can't see that far into the future, but everything you experience in this class, you're gonna have to talk about later on at one time or another. So be super aware, be ahead of the game.
Yeah, so my advice is use this class like, for practice. I think that's what I would have done, because you're paying money for it. So there's skills like public speaking, writing, building, creating, networking, because in grad school it's all really important when I had it, and I wish I would have done that earlier in undergrad. Just if you have a question, raise your hand and ask. Practice being more vocal. I know it's hard, but since there's only 10 of you guys and you can't, it's the only class where you have a cohort, so it's like you see the same people throughout the next semester as well. So get comfortable with that. Step out of your comfort zone and use this as practice because you're paying for it. So after it's over, like me now, I wish I can go back in the classroom. That's why I'm here right now, reliving those great times.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Roger and Tim was saying. Yeah. Well, utilize like what you learned from the class, and it's a really great hands-on experience that, you'll never get another chance to do that, especially when you're an undergrad. I know we keep emphasizing that, but this is really a great experience because, how many of your peers could say that you wrote a paper or you were able to do a research on your campus and things that are affecting you and your community? So,
So, yeah, you make your guys' bonds now because when our cohort was over, I saw these ladies and guys like every other day or every day pretty much. And when it ended during our summer, I was like, can we hang out? Can we go like see each other? I miss everybody, And it's like we all still connect on Facebook. We all still go out every so often for each other's birthday.